Maori history is Chinese history on hot steroids. You need very little intelligence to deduce that Maori history, as explained today by woke mainstream media, taught in schools and universities, and spewed out of the tattooed traps of racist activist MPs, is a total load of cobblers. It's as close to criminal fantasy that you can get. It's woke, nonsensical garbage. Zheng He sailed many voyages around the world. He commanded 7 significant naval expeditions for the Ming Dynasty between 1405 and 1433. These voyages were extensive, with massive fleets travelling to more than 30 countries across the oceans. The size of Zheng He's fleets consisted of around 100 to 300 ships, comprising treasure ships, warships, supply ships and patrol boats, manned by large crews numbering up to 30,000 members, including soldiers, merchants and civilians. Zheng He's expeditions also utilised prisoners, many of whom over time became scattered across distant lands for several reasons, such as shipwrecks, desertions, marooning, released captives, and so on. Zheng He's voyages are a well-documented fact, and it's also a well-documented fact that the Chinese have gone on to explore space, land on the moon, and build an orbiting space station. New Zealand's Maori, presumably not to feel left out of the big picture, have created their own success story of their global migration achievements. Maori have no documentation or any factual evidence to support their stunning success story. Everything's all word of mouth and tattoos. The gullible are taught that Maori were master builders and highly skilled celestial navigators who crossed the great oceans, looking for new lands to settle their people, and then ultimately became the indigenous settlers of New Zealand. Turn the clock forward a few hundred years or so, and along came the big bad colonisers who stuffed everything up for Maori, so today they require never-ending dollar compensation. What a load of Chinese whispers garbage. What codswallop. Fortunately, we do have some readily available documentation from 1840 onwards, thanks to the technologically superior colonisers. It's a well-known fact that in 1840, before the Treaty of Waitangi was signed, that Maori were brutal, warring, violent savages who not only murdered their neighbours and children, they ate them as well. Thank goodness for colonisation, I say. So many Maori lives were saved. So anyone with an iota of intelligence would have some quick questions as follows. 1. How did the supposedly master builder and skilled navigator Maori seafaring tribes manage to sail the oceans peacefully and not murder and eat their fellow travellers? 2. What happened to all of the supposed Maori master skills after arriving and settling in New Zealand? Where did these so-called superior skills actually disappear to? 3. Why were such skills not passed down to the younger generation Maori? 4. Why were the highly qualified master skills Maori settlers unable to build even the most basic of warm, dry housing accommodation, deciding instead to live in primitive, damp, dark, health hazard rabbit hutches? Answer: because Maori have never had such skill, and it's total, utter, woke hogwash lies. It's nothing but crap. Some Maori may have arrived accidentally in New Zealand, swept off course by raging ocean currents, taking them in, away off course and miles away from their homeland. That may well have saved them from being eaten. But a much more likely truth is that Maori were most likely slaves and or prisoners on board some of Zheng He's massive fleets, and then they were dumped off in New Zealand, or, as is also very likely, jumped ship, scarpered, deserted, you name it, end of story. Aka, the arrival of the low IQ, low skill savages, and the rest of the story you know. Don't you think that such a likelihood would fully explain why Maori had no master building skills or celestial navigation skills and evolved into nothing more than brutal, warring, violent, murdering, savage cannibals, as was the case until the colonisers arrived in 1840? If there was ever a case to abolish Māori Seats, Māori Wards, the Waitangi Tribunal, and have all past Maori settlement funds returned to the hard-working Kiwi taxpayer, then this is surely that case. Thank you for listening. WhangāreiTim.